Head and Monkey got together and we're looking for a drummer. I get this message on my machine. David's like fucking 13.
And I just called him. I didn't know him, but I got their number.
He's like, hey guys, looking for a drummer. This little kid on my answer machine. We're like, called him back, went over his house.
Brought some amps and they played with me in my garage.
He was like so young, like had to have his mom like drop him off at practice.
It just clicked. He was good, man. Everyone that we have that works with us, and everybody has nicknames. Monkey and Head have had those nicknames since we're this big.
How'd they get them?
Self-explanatory.
Going even deeper into the Korn psyche reveals a group whose members have put themselves through the mill in order to achieve their own individual musical goals, with a little bit of friendly, tongue-in-cheek humour along the way for good measure. Nicknamed Head because of his inability to wear a hat that actually fitted him, Korn guitarist Brian Welsh was born in Torrance, California on June 19, 1970. He attended the same school as fellow Korn ex-man James Schaefer, where Brian showed him how to play guitar and compose rock songs. In fact, the pair have now been playing together for more than 2/3 of their lives. They grew up friends through high school and had a friendly sort of competition with each other. Brian would go to Schaefer's house, drink beer and have a jam. Later, when Schaefer formed LAPD, his old mate Brian was drafted in as a second guitarist for touring duties. Second guitarist James "Monkey" Schaefer was born in Rosedale, California on June 6, 1970, earning his nickname from his ape-like feet. Schaefer began his musical career after an accident with a three-wheeler which severed the top of his left index finger. One night, while sneaking out to a party and pushing his bike, the chain slipped off. He slapped his hand on it so it wouldn't make a noise, but his finger got caught and cut the top off. Thankfully, the accident didn't deter him from playing guitar.
I cut off my finger. The end of it, I cut it off. In a three-wheeler accident. The doctor's like, you need to rehabilitate your fingers somehow. You know, like take up an instrument. I was like, how about guitar? And I thought about that guitar being in the closet. So, oh, that's perfect.
Korn drummer David Silveria also grew up in Bakersfield. He learned how to play drums at the age of 9 and auditioned to play with 3 of his Korn bandmates when he was just 13 years old. Described as the shy member of the band, Silveria supposedly has a penis signing fetish when it comes to writing on fan items of Korn memorabilia. However, this particular Skinsman has a lucrative side job as a male model. He has already completed a modelling assignment for skate punk clothing company 26 Red, and proved such a hit that 26 Red's biggest rivals, Grind, recently contracted Silveria to do a series of ads for them. Born November 2, 1969, Korn bassman Reginald "Fieldy" Alvizu is known widely for his alcohol-related antics. Because of his large chipmunk cheeks, he earned a whole host of nicknames for himself when he was younger, from Gopher to Garf to Garfield. Then one day, it just became plain and simple Fieldy. On the business side, Fieldy designs most of Korn's merchandise, like t-shirts, hats and stickers. Heavily influenced by West Coast hip-hop music, the bassist has plans to write and produce a solo album with the work entitled Fieldy's Dreams, on which he intends to play all the instruments. In singer Jonathan Davis, Korn possess an individual with a compelling vocal style who isn't afraid to recount personal stories of trauma and abuse in his lyrics, which have already seen him shine on such topics as sexual abuse, the cruelty of high school, and painful personal experiences. When this hard-hitting subject matter is combined with the band's ugly, down-tuned sound, the result is quite often unique. The singer's cutting lyrics have created nothing short of controversy, often addressing unsavoury topics like rape and child molestation. The Korn frontman draws heavily on his own adolescent experiences to sustain an anger and vitriol that reeks with heartfelt authenticity. His wildly emotional vocals, alternating between a bourbon-smooth croon and a viscerally sharp howl, wavering somewhere between viperous rage and solemn regret. On the surface, Davis would seem an unlikely candidate to front one of America's heaviest rock bands. Born in Bakersfield, California on January 18, 1971, He grew up in a town where there was little more to do than take drugs, get drunk, and get laid. The son of a music store owner, he was a gawky misfit in high school who wore makeup and listened incessantly to pop star idols like Duran Duran. Because of his new romantic leanings, Davis stood apart from his peers because of his different style of dress. Tormented in school by fellow students who regarded him as different, his difficulties as an unpopular youth is a subject he draws upon heavily when composing lyrics for Korn. His nickname is HIV, as a sort of agreement with the faggot term he was dubbed with in his school days. He does not, in fact, have AIDS or the HIV virus, although he does have the letters HIV tattooed on his upper left arm as a constant reminder that the virus is still out there. It's probably saved his life on more than one occasion, acting as a protecting guardian angel against the excesses of the sex, drugs and rock and roll lifestyle. Spend any time with the singer and one is likely to be subjected to an endless barrage of queer references and gay jokes. But what might initially come across as small-town homophobia turns out to be something more, a byproduct of a lifetime of sexual confusion. One Davis-penned song, entitled Faggot, reflects on the time when the singer would don his makeup and hang out in gay bars. In complete contrast, on his upper right arm, is a tattoo of a crazed bishop ripping up his skin to reveal an image of Jesus Christ, a symbol of the atrocities caused in the name of religion, which Davis sees as corrupt, an evil institution in the US, overdosing on money-grabbing TV evangelism. Don't think for a moment that Davis was a tender-footed rube about the music business when Korn recruited him. His father owned a musical instrument store and later took over the Bakersfield recording studio once owned by country music great Buck Owen. Jonathan played many instruments when he was younger, including bagpipes. Eventually, he would put his talent to good use in Korn, and the old Scottish haggis bag would become an integral part of the band's sound. The young Davis also studied classical music from a tender age, but the elder Davis continually disabused him of the notion of a career in the music business, having witnessed so much heartbreak firsthand. At a young age, Jonathan went through the painful ordeal of parental divorce. His father, Rick, later remarried. If that wasn't discouragement enough, young Jonathan, in the throes of teenage rebellion, vowed to be anything but his father, as young boys are wont to do, and chose an occupation as remote as possible from the family business. But one wouldn't want to take anything away from Davis's propensity for the strange. His own eccentric makeup had much to do with his career choice, as it does with the haunting and disturbing lyrics he now writes for Korn. Affecting the singer profoundly and providing additional fodder for his burgeoning creative sensibilities was his stint as a part-time autopsy assistant for California's Kern County Coroner's Department. Beginning in his senior year in high school, and continuing until he joined Korn at the age of 22, Davis bore first-hand witness to the gruesome results of murders, suicides, and brutal car accidents. To this day, he fears riding in automobiles and rarely drives. After seeing victims of car crashes, suicides, and sexual abuse, including people he had known or talked to the day before, he suffered post-traumatic stress disorder and has nightmares to this day, one of which is exercised in the song Pretty, about a young incest victim. However, though he initially recoiled at the notion of applying a scalpel to corpses, he later characterized the work as a rush, and told the Los Angeles Times that there was some kind of power involved when you're cutting up a human body.